Good evening once again. This is week 6 discussion question. It is a controversial topic. One of the most controversial things that I hear a lot are about children and whether or not to immunize them or not. I think my personal opinion would be to, yes, immunize your children. You are not allowed to put your children into public schools if they are not if they do not have their immunizations. You're not allowed to put them in any sort of school atmosphere if they do not have vaccines and things like that. So there's a lot of reasons where parents don't vaccinate their children. There's been controversial topics such as children becoming autistic because of immunizations. There's also really good reasons why you should vaccinate your children. It can save your child's life. Let's face it. Back in, the 20s and the 30s, when there was pox and smallpox and many other different diseases, it killed a lot of people. And so now that medicine and technology and research and all these things have come more up to where we are and we live today, there's so much more out there. There's so much more reasons why we should vaccinate our children, because it can cure measles, mumps, like I said, smallpox, and many other things that killed a lot of people back in the early parts of our lifetimes. Another thing too is it's safe and effective. I mean, you put your kids out there, they get sick. Mine have been in daycare for 3 years, and I remember that first year of putting them in daycare, they were constantly sick. My daughter had pneumonia twice within that first year. My son had to have tubes put in at 8 months old. So yes, these are things that were mild, but without immunizations, it could have effectively been worse. And so I'm a huge believer in it. And again, this is my opinion and my opinion only. It protects others. There's been known causes of kids or adults being sick and spreading it to children that have cancer. Their immune systems are low because they're fighting off, leukemia, different sorts of diseases that children in the hospital have, that they can't have these immunizations because their bodies just can't handle it, and then they get sick, and it cause them to die even from, not being treated because they've gotten sick from someone that isn't that isn't vaccinated, so doesn't have their immunizations. And so that's something that we have to think about, that there are kids out there that are going through other things, that their immune systems are so weak and so fragile that we have to be cautious that people like myself that have healthy children, we should be thankful every single day that we have our healthy babies, because it could change in an instant. And that's why it's so very important that we make sure that we are doing the best that we can as parents and as people to make sure that we're taking care of our kiddos and respecting other people that you may not know what's going on with them. And so we just want to take every precautionary that we can to make sure that we're watching on what's going on around us. The other thing too is, if your child does not have their vaccinations, they cannot go into a public school. They cannot be they can't. They have to have those immunizations in order to go to school. So that helps save money, because you're not having to pay for private care and all this. The other thing too is it protects the future generations. I know that there's a lot of older people that are coming into our clinic and wanting measles vaccines because they had when they were younger, but they're just afraid that they're or they had measles when they were young, but they're just afraid that they're going to get it again, kind of like shingles. We all had chickenpox when we were younger. I know I did, and my kids won't have it because they have the chickenpox vaccination. And so it's one thing going down the line, that if you have that vaccination, that you're less likely to get chickenpox, which you won't get, hopefully will lead you not to getting shingles as you get into an elderly adult. So again, this is my conclusion for week 6. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.